Next, S.
Stories. Situation, solution, success. Character, dialogue, dramatic lesson learned.
Yes, good. Stories. Robert McKee, the screenwriter, said stories are the creative conversion of life itself into a more powerful, clearer, more meaningful experience. And given a choice of hearing a brilliant story badly told, or a simple story well told, an audience of 1 or 1,000 would always rather hear a brilliant or a simple well told. Will you raise your hand if you're familiar with my Larry Mariottini story? Larry Mariottini. I probably told it last. It's one of my classics. Well, maybe I'll tell you another one instead. Although it is a good one.
No, we won't.
Haven't begged. It's a tale. What are they going to say? She came. This is about the 18th time she's done this chapter. Let her tell her story. If you are a long-time speaker, how do you find new material? You listen to your old cassettes. And I say cassettes because if you are too young to have cassettes, you haven't been in this business long enough to be a legend. Well, I was listening to some of my old cassettes and I heard this story that I'd totally forgotten, and I brought it up and freshened it up. And it goes like this. I'll never forget the first time I met Larry Mariottini. It was 10:45 on a Tuesday in 1972. I walked into the lobby of this very shishi men's hairstyling salon where I worked, and there he sat looking most uncomfortable. Someone had said to him, "You need Miss Fripp." Well, he didn't know if he needed Miss Fripp, but he was there. Larry Mariottini was a computer programmer for Levi Strauss. I guess you might say Larry was a nerd. Long before I knew what one was or dreamed I would want to grow up and be one. I took him back to my booth. I shampooed, conditioned, cut, styled, sprayed, and fluffed his hair. He looked good. He didn't know he looked good, but he looked good. He walked out of my salon with a bag of shampoo, conditioner, hairspray, hairbrush, never spent so much money in a barber shop in his entire life, and he went back to work at Levi Strauss. And as he walked in, all the women said, "Larry." He went home that night and his wife said, "Larry." Well, you imagine, after a couple of days, this positive response, he realized he did look good. And as what usually happens, when you change one aspect of your life or your appearance for the better, it has a tendency to spread. Larry Mariottini became a regular client. And he was inspired by looking good. He joined a gym, worked out, trimmed down, bought some trendier clothes. And based on the attention he was getting, he started acting in a more outgoing way. So much so that Levi Strauss offered him a sales position even though he had no prior sales experience. Larry Mariottini turned out to be the best salesperson in his division. They cut his territory 5 times and he still sold more than everybody else. Now I know what you're thinking. This Fripp woman wants to take full credit for transforming this man's life, getting him a better job, and shall we say more attention at home. Well, obviously Larry Mariottini had something to do with it, but consider this. When I went to work as a hairstylist, I could have looked at my business in 1 of 2 ways. Either 1, I have 16 heads of hair to cut, or 2, I have the opportunity to positively impact 16 people's lives. And when we do our job from the focus of being in service to others, we are more likely to not only enjoy our careers, we are likely to develop clients for a lifetime. Now, can you see I am about to premise into a speech on getting, keeping, and deserving customers? So your opening, whatever you choose it to be, has to logically transition into the point of the speech, the premise, the central idea. Now, the reason I like that story is because it gives so many lessons on how to tell a story. Your story is about characters, about real-life people. Give them a backstory. It was a computer program for Levi Strauss. You can see him. You know, I told you the year. It's important to give you the year, one, because you know that is my past life, it isn't now. I don't want people elbowing, oh, she's still cutting hair. So I have to do it, this is way in the past. And you also know, in 1972, what a nerdy-looking guy probably looked like. Now, your picture of Larry Mariottini might not be what he really looked like, but you have your picture. It also gives me the perfect example, if you want to move. Movement-specific phrase. I walked into the lobby of this she salon. Now, you might not, and I bet you don't use the word she, but I bet you have an idea of what a she salon would look like. You know it's not your normal barber shop. Then, I walked, took it back to the booth. That is a movement-specific phrase if you want to move. Now, I can stand still and do it with my hand. I walked into the lobby, I took him back. But seeing most of us have a need to walk, that is perfectly logical. But I'm standing still, cutting, styling, shampooing his hair. He walks out with the bag. You see the movement-specific phrases, and even with the dialogue, I didn't say he was referred to me. Someone said, you need Miss Fripp. So you're adding dialogue whenever possible, even if it's one word, Larry. Now, may I suggest Larry says a lot more than one word. And you know what it means. You can imagine the women admiring him. You can imagine his wife. Wow! So it has so many lessons. Situation. What is the beginning of the story? The solution. What do you do? And what is the success, the happy ever after? The second formula is characters. Dialogue. Whenever possible, a story comes alive in dialogue. And it has to be obvious what the point of your story is. Now, we promised you third technique, and it's not in the handout anyway, because it's newer than the handout. Leading edge. And this is a movie formula, which you know I love quoting movies at any possible opportunity when it comes to presentations. A day in the life. You want to tell someone about it later, a day in the life. Something happened. And the result of that is, and the result of that is. Now, if we go back this afternoon, a lot of the presentations, Marty, a day in the life. That's how life was. Something happened. That, if it is a movie, is the inciting incident. Because when that happens, there is no turning back. The inciting incident when Harrison Ford playing Dr. David Kimball in the movie The Fugitive, that's when he's wrongly accused of killing his wife and he takes off after the one-armed man. That's the inciting incident. The inciting incident in a movie is like introducing the premise of the speech. Something happened. And the result of that is, the result of that life change. What did you learn? And the result of that is, I wanted to help other people. You can go on forever. Simple story like Larry. Gets his haircut. The result of this is getting more attention. The result of that is he trims down. The result of that is he gets offered a sales job. The result of that is he found what he's really designed to do. But the inciting incident was the haircut.